Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. This is a topic that you guys have been asking me for, and it's DoorDash. The DoorDash video is here. So we're going to talk about DoorDash. It is conducting its IPO. It's kind of already started. Most of us should be able to grab it tomorrow if it's something that you're interested in. So what I want to do is describe what an IPO is, how does DoorDash make money, and how I feel about it, and things that I would look at or at least be concerned about in the very near future for DoorDash. So let's go ahead and get into it. So number one, go ahead and hit the share button now. I'm aiming for 10 shares, just 10. That's not a lot. Keep the video short. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the share button. Appreciate that. All right. So IPO, we've talked about it before, but you may be new. So initial public offering. It's the first time that people like me and you can invest in a company. The reason why people are so excited about IPOs is because we all wish that we could have been at the table and bought the very first share of Apple at the very first opportunity. We'd be millionaires. Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google, list goes on. We always wish that we could have done that. Well, this is your opportunity to say now in 2020, this is when I bought DoorDash, this is when I bought Snow, this is when I bought GoodRx, whatever it may be, and in 15 years, you're the richest person ever. That's what we hope to happen. Problem is, it doesn't always work that way, and the stock almost never goes up in a straight line. Sometimes you get lucky. Beyond Meat did that. Zoom did that. At least, it did. We'll see where it is today. But not every stock does that. So we want to talk about the real risk of it and the upsides of it too. So I have my notes to the right. I will refer them to time. So if I look awkwardly away, you know what I'm looking at. All right. So what is DoorDash? Again, it's the food hailing app, kind of like Uber, but for food. There's Uber Eats, but DoorDash is a little bit better. The reason why I say DoorDash is a little bit better is because they own close to half of the entire food delivery market. And the way they get paid is for me and you. When you order food on the app, there's like a convenience fee that you have to pay. I'm not a fan of, but you also, but the restaurants also pay to be on the app. So if you own a restaurant, you have to pay DoorDash for your company or your restaurant to be on there. And then when someone else orders, they have to pay a fee to receive the food. That's pretty much how they make money. Now, this year, they made $2 billion between January and September. So it's quarters 1, 2, and 3, if I'm not mistaken. They made $2 billion. Now, last year, during that same time span, January to September, they made only $587 million. That is huge. You went from $587 million in revenue, not profit, revenue, which means just the money coming in, not after the bills have been paid. But they made $587 million last year during that same time frame, and $2 billion this year. That is huge. All across the app, you've got more users, more people ordering, more money coming in. That's great news for DoorDash. Now, people like me and you sit here and think, okay, well, if the pandemic was a shot in the arm and boosted the number of people ordering and boosted the money that's coming in, what's going to happen once people go back outside? That's my big question. Yes, they're like trying to roll out a subscription service, like a Dash Pass, I think is what you call it, where you're like paying a monthly fee, and that's going to stabilize some revenue. And that's all well and fine. That does make sense. But we all know, for the most part, if you go from 587 to 2 billion in 2021, you are probably not going to be nowhere near 2 billion, at least in my view. Logically, you're probably not going to hit that level. Now, could they do it in 2022 and so on? Yeah, maybe. But in my mind, the stock, because of hype, will probably shoot up over the first few days and then just fall off the map for a while until things start to improve and until they start to really stabilize themselves. Now, the reason why I say that is because, and well, really a bunch of reasons, but first, that's just plain logic. It doesn't make sense why the stock would continue to rise when someone says, well, look, you made 2 billion, now you made 1 billion. You lost 50% in your revenue year over year. That is a possibility, and nobody's going to like that. The stock pretty much has to fall. But we have some evidence for this. A part of that evidence is Netflix. Remember, Netflix at the very beginning of the year was a really hot company, especially through March, April, and May. Once Netflix said, look, We had a record number of subscribers. We had so many people subscribing on the app. Netflix just said, look, don't expect that next year, or don't expect that over the next quarter. You can only get but so many subscribers once you hit the COVID boost. So because Netflix, and I don't remember what the number is, I'm just going to say 6 million. You have 6 million subscribers when the pandemic was at its peak. And in the next quarter, you get 4 million. People were upset. Netflix fell. We actually did a video on that. So it's like, if you still gain subscribers, right? You still made money. You went from, in this example, from 6 million to 4 million. That gap in 2 million, the market wasn't happy about, and the stock was punished for it. So in the same or similar case for DoorDash, where you're getting $2 billion because everybody's home, everybody's gaining weight like me, what's going to happen after that? Once people go outside, once people travel more, are they going to make that same amount of money? My guess will be no. I think logic tells you no, but the stock market doesn't always do logical things, does it? We've seen that plenty of times. So for me, I'm personally sitting out of DoorDash. There's still a lot of good things about them. Again, the revenue is going up. That's good. They're not profitable though. I think they were down. So they lost money, about 149 million over the previous quarter. It's not Uber where they're losing billions, but just so you know that. Now, I'll also say that all IPOs can be risky. You can't say that every single year you're going to find the next Amazon, you're going to find the next Tesla, you're going to find the next Microsoft. No, you're not. Those companies are very, very rare, and they only come around, in my view, probably every 5 to 10 years. So, I picked one, and my one was Snow, and I'm hoping that that's the one. But could that have been Zoom? I mean, Zoom took off from the very beginning and is still doing well. So maybe it was Zoom. Could it have been Beyond Meat? Beyond Meat was on fire at one point, I think earlier this year and last year. You never know, right? You got some stocks like Slack. The stock symbol is work, so I always get that one confused. But Slack was terrible. Slack was so terrible that it got cheap enough for Salesforce to buy, and that's when the stock shot up at the very last minute. If you go back and look at Slack, it was an awful IPO literally until like last week. Same thing with Snapchat. For 3 years, y'all have been hearing me on the radio, on here, and everywhere else saying Slack was awful, and it was until about last week, and you'll see it just kind of falling off the map, and all of a sudden it started taking off. So DoorDash could very well be that. In my view, if I was ever going to jump in it, which right now I'm just flat out telling you I'm not, I would probably wait until it falls off at some point next year and kind of get it for the low and hope that it takes off after that. Now, I say hope now because I don't know. I'm going to really need to look at the numbers and see what happens between now and then. I will keep my eye on it. Y'all know I broke my one IPO rule for Snow, and that paid off. Snow went public in October, and it is blowing things out of the water right now. Will it continue? I hope so. We'll see. But I keep the same face whether the market is up or down, right? So great. I hope it to be the next thing, but if it ain't, same pace, right? It's on the same schedule as every other stock, actually like every other stock. So we'll see for Snow. But now we got a list here. We talked about Snapchat, we talked about Slack, we talked about Zoom, Pinterest. Pinterest was kind of I don't know where it is now. That's something we can look at, or y'all can put in the comments. Feel free to let me know. So you just got to be careful. We talked about Airbnb. If I had to choose between Airbnb and DoorDash, I'm probably going to go with Airbnb. I'm not doing either, but I'm just saying if I was forced to pick one or the other, I'd do Airbnb because I know that there's a vaccine. We know that the vaccine should be widely available sometime around July or so of 2021. So at some point, I can tell you for a fact, people are going to travel. People are going to use Airbnb again. I know that. I really don't have any doubts there. I don't know if DoorDash is going to get back to a $2 billion revenue. I don't know if DoorDash is going to be profitable. I don't know if people are going to order as much as they did during this pandemic. I don't know if that will ever happen again. Hopefully for them it does. We'll see. But the likelihood of that happening versus the likelihood of Airbnb being a decent to good company, I got to side with Airbnb between the two. I also say that there was a report, I think I saw this in Yahoo Finance, that they said that the DoorDash IPO is the worst thing they've seen since WeWork. And we covered WeWork, and WeWork was not good at all. WeWork was borderline fraudulent, and you see what happened now. I mean, their valuation fell off the map, and they withdrew the IPO paperwork altogether. Now, I really think that's a little dramatic. I don't think DoorDash is that bad, but for someone in the investing space to compare the two and put them in the same sentence just does not bode well. But I mean, logically, you can't tell me that more people are going to order in 2021 than what they're doing right now. When you know a vaccine is out there, when you know people are going to be out and about and they're not going to be, for better or worse, locked at home, staring in front of the fridge. So that's my take on it. They have a big market share, which is good. They are making more money, which is good. They are not profitable, but I'm not overly concerned. New companies tend to lose money in the first few years, but I just don't see a path of success when the rest of the companies that they're competing with haven't been doing all that well either. Uber Eats and Uber, they still lose money. Postmates, I'm pretty sure, we'd have to check, I'm pretty sure they're not doing all that great either. They're getting a lot more business now, but I would say this entire sector is not going to be all that great next year, whereas hotels, even airlines, and I did this video a while back, airlines are probably looking better now that we know when the vaccine is than what they were back in March when things were completely unclear. All right, so that's my view. Let me know what you think. You like Airbnb? Do you like DoorDash? Do you like Snow? Across the board, what are you thinking about these IPOs? Are you getting in? Are you staying out? How do you feel? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later.